Good evening, my friends, and welcome to TV Vakwetu. It's Thursday, and that means it's Thursday night motivation with Frank Saliki. I hope you are all doing well, and I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful week in everything that you are doing. So we're about what. Right, apologies then. I lost connection then. So what I was saying, we're about 1 week away from the publication of my next book, Finding Your Voice. And I can't even believe that I will be my next book will be published. The last few weeks, I've been reflecting on my journey. I've been reflecting on setbacks I've gone through. I've been reflecting on people who told me I could not do great things in my life. I've been reflecting on times I felt like I can never do anything special, like I'm not as talented as so many young people can be. I was reflecting on so many things, so many times when things around me just didn't seem like they were ever going to work out, when I never thought I could even dream of the things that I do today. And I've been reflecting on this and evaluating the things that really changed my life, the things that have shaped who I am, the things that have helped me along the way. And somebody sent me a message the other day. So somebody sent me a question the other day. If you're going to think about the one thing that kept you going, the one thing that has really helped you achieve the things you've achieved this far, despite your setback, what is it? What is it? And this is what I'm going to talk about this evening. And simply this: it's not over until you win. When I was going through difficult times, I came across a quote by the great Les Brown, and it simply said, "It's not over until I win." And I put that where I used to carry that in my wallet wherever I went. And whenever things got difficult, I looked at that and said, "It's not over until I win." When I had bad days, I used to remind myself, yes, today might not be the day that I win, but it's not over until I win. When things were falling apart, I used to tell myself, it's not over until I win. When I tried to apply for a job after graduating from university and I was refused that job because of the color of my skin, I used to remind myself, it's not over until I win. For me, that was the greatest reminder in everything that I was doing. That as long as I kept doing what needed to be done, I could achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. So I set myself up to succeed. I set myself up every day knowing that the road was going to be tough. The road was going to be hard. There's going to be setbacks along the way. But it's simply waking up every single day and saying, you know what? It's really not over until I win. And this is what I want to talk to you about. We have so many talented people who never achieve their true potential because they experience one setback or another, because somebody tells them they can't achieve special things. Somebody will tell them, you know what, people like you and me can never do the things that you want to do, or no one in our family has ever done the things that you say you want to do. So for many, they give up on their dreams. For many, they give up on the things that they want to do. For many, they never get to realize their talents. It's so easy to think that successful people are lucky. Successful people have got everything. Let's not beat around the bushes. Yes, some successful people have had connections. Some successful people grew up in rich households. Some successful people grew up with parents who had influence. That is a fact. But we cannot give up. We cannot ignore the fact that there are other people who had nothing. There are some people who didn't have anything to eat for days in their households. There's some people who had to walk miles and miles and miles to go to school. There's some people, when they went to school, they had to put their shoes away because those are the only school shoes that they had, and they had to walk barefoot. There are other people who, after they finished high school, you know what they did with their trousers? They gave it to their father because their father didn't even have proper trousers. And when they finished school, they went and gave away those things. It's interesting because my mother told me that the last day she finished school, the shoes that she was wearing, her father started wearing her because her father sent her to school and he didn't have enough to look after himself and to look after those things that we want. It was my grandfather's determination that transformed my mother's life. when all the villagers around them were telling my father, your daughter is a girl, she should be getting married, not going to school. My grandfather, without having a lot of money, said, no, my daughter is going to go to school. My daughter is not just going to get married. My daughter is going to have a future. And I do everything that I do because a long time ago, my grandfather had a vision for my mother. And my mother has sacrificed so much. We're able to do the things that we're doing today. And I always say this, for who I am and what I am, I owe it to my mother. But here's the important thing. There's one thing that is the common denominator there. The determination not to give up. The determination to say, no matter how things are going to be, no matter how difficult things are going to be, I am going to succeed. Next week, when we do my book launch on TV Bakwe, to which you can join in as we do the book launch for Finding Your Voice, the one thing that is so important I will be talking about is, you know, when you start something and so people don't give you a chance from the start, it starts to feel like that's how life was supposed to be. It starts to feel like you are meant to just go through failure and failure and failure. When you've been working so hard on something and you can't see any opportunity coming through, it starts to feel that like that's the way things were meant to be. When you go through setbacks after setback after setback, start to feel like success is not a word that was created for your vocabulary. That success was created for other people, but not for you. I don't say this to impress you. I say this to impress upon you. Without the ability not to give up, I would not be what I would not be what I am today, and I would not be doing the things that I do today. I do the things that I do today simply because I refuse to give up when things were tough. I do the things that I do today simply because I refuse to give up when the journey became lonely. After failing my high school exams, I was put in a class where everybody had failed my high school exams. People didn't have a dream, didn't have a lot of wishes, but I had a dream. I had a dream to go to university and transform my life. I had a dream to say by the time I'm 25, I should own my own house. I had all this dream as a 16-year-old after failing my high school. And I needed to go out there and work and do the things that I needed to do. I got some really strange advice. Some people say, go and get a job in the supermarket. How about that? Some people say maybe you should think about just looking for a labor job somewhere, because I don't think you're going to make it. And even as I went to university, there were still some people say, I don't think you're going to survive that 3 years. I survived that 3 years. The second year of age, I had depression throughout the year. But the thing that mattered for me more than anything, it was a realization that it's not over until I win. It's not over until I get to the end. I understood that as long as I stayed in the game, I had a chance to win. Far too many people give up too easily. Far too many people give up too early in the process. Success is not something that you attain tomorrow because you've got a passion for something. You have to have a passion, you have to have determination, and you have to have faith. Because along the process, there are going to be times when things just don't go into place, when things are slow. The most difficult part of any journey, is when it just feels like nothing is happening. When you're doing all the work and you're putting all the effort, but you can't see any results, and it doesn't feel like the result is around the corner. In Napoleon Hill's masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich. He tells a story of a man who was working in diamond mines, and he was digging and he was digging and he was digging, but nothing was happening. And eventually he gave up. However, what happened is after he sold all equipment, the people who bought the equipment started digging. And when what they did after like digging for about 50 yards, they found the thing that this man had been looking for. This man was this close, but this man had experienced so much setbacks and so much failure. His faith had disappeared, and he thought, you know what, I'm going to give up now. I'm going to give up now. And he missed out. He was that close. He was that close to achieving his destiny. He was that close to achieving his destiny, and he gave up. Today, there's so many people who are giving up. What would have happened if so many people gave up? Think about this. What would have happened if a Nelson Mandela gave up? What would have happened if a Martin Luther King gave up? What would have happened if a Rosa Parks gave up? What would have happened to Black people? If all these great people just said, you know what, this has got too hard now, I give up. I want you to know this, my friend. Easy is not an option. What do they say? Easy come, easy what? Easy go. Easy is not an option. But you have to ask yourself, how important is a goal to you? How important is it that you need to achieve the things that you want to achieve? What is it going to mean for your life if you achieve the things that you want to achieve? Far too many people are looking around them and say, you know what, I've done everything that I could have done. No, my friends, you haven't done everything that you could have done. There's always something that you can do. The argument people have with me all the time is, but I've done everything I could have done. And then when we sit down and evaluate this, we discover they haven't done probably 20, 30, 40 things, but they think they've done it. And when some people say they've done everything that they could have done, what they mean is that they've probably attempted 3, 4 times. As we're growing up, we think we go to school, we go to university, we go to college, we graduate, and everything happens. And then we are successful and we're enjoying life. I went to university. I did really well. I passed my degree with first class honors, and I thought, you know what, life is going to be. I've worked so hard and I've overcome all these things, and everything is just going to fall into place, and I'm going to do wonderful things with my life, and and nothing is ever going to stop me. What happened? Life happened. Just because I was a university graduate didn't mean everything fell into place. I had to work hard for years. Twice I had to leave jobs because the managers did not treat me properly. I had to leave a job with a wedding to plan for, with mortgage to pay, without knowing where I'm going to go. But I was determined to go and find something else. I had to leave a job in the middle of the pandemic when there were not a lot of things around. I handed in my notice and say I'll be leaving and I'll be looking for something else. And all I had, my friends, is faith. Faith that things are going to turn out okay. Faith that this is a process. Faith that life is all about learning. Most of the time when we think, and I talk about this a lot in my next book, Finding Your Voice, is most of the time when we experience something, we focus on how bad it is. We don't ask ourselves, what experiences, what tools has this experience given me? An experience itself is not as important as the meaning that we give it. The meaning we give an experience is more important than the experience itself. Why? Because the meaning you give any experience will determine the next action you take. Right? The meaning you give an experience will determine the next action you take. Frank Saliki fails at his high school exams, makes a decision. It's an opportunity to start all over again. The actions that I took were different to somebody who said, I failed my high school exams and it's all over. The person who said it's all over did what? Nothing to change their lives. The person who said, you know, it's a beginning, a fresh start for me, took action to that fresh start. That's a person who decided that my life is not over. You know, what bothers me is when I hear a 20-year-old say, my life is over. You're 20. You're 20. Because we think, and we see this with social lives, especially when we see young people who are, in quotes, success, because we think success is material things. We forget that material things are a byproduct of success. So we think of young people who got a lot. So people in their 20s who have not got a lot, they think, you know what, all these other people are doing a lot better than me. And somebody by the age of 21, 22 writes themselves out as a failure in life. Okay? They write themselves off. They write themselves off as a failure in life. How do you decide that? At 23, 21, you've got a lot. Here's the difference. You have to understand that we're all on a different journey. Okay? We're all on a different journey. Some people become CEOs at 30 years old or 25 years old, but they die at 40 or 50. Some people become CEOs at 50 and they live until 90 something. This whole thing is a process. Focusing on what other people are doing will stop you from focusing on your goal. What is your goal and what do you need to do to get there? Remembering it's not over until you win. It's not over until you win. If you've not succeeded at something, what do? You just keep coming back. Remember when we were young, we used to play a game, and I was notorious about this, highly competitive. When it comes to sport, highly competitive. I hated losing. Remember those kids, if they bring their ball and then they're not winning, all of a sudden they're like, I'm taking my ball now. I was one of those. Yes, I was one of those annoying people. If it's my ball, I have to win. And frankly, if it's anyone's ball, I had to win as well. We used to play these games and we say the first team to score 6 wins. Well, if my team's not the first team to score 6, we're playing that game until we win. One team scores 6, I was like, no, the next team to score 8. The other team scores 8, I'm like, the next team to score 12. If we reach something like the next team to score 18, if we get to 18 first, that's it, game over. The other team will say, actually, no, the next team to score 20. I'll be like, no, we've won. Because I had that thing about, I've got to win. It's not over till I win. And this attitude has served me a lot, has served me so well in difficult times. It served me so well in times when so many people give up. Because I'm able to look at things and say, yes, things are difficult, things are hard, but it is not over until I win. I can overcome. I can overcome. One of my favorite New Apostolic hymns is titled, The Overcomer, the overcomer shall have gladness. The overcomer shall have gladness. That's the most important thing. It's all about overcoming. The wonderful things that comes free in life is dreams. We can all dream about how life should be. We can all dream about how wonderful we'd like our life to be. But as long as we do not take the actions that are necessary to achieve those dreams, nothing will ever come to fruition. Because in this world, there are people who will laugh at your dream. In this world, there are people who will look at you and say, maybe you cannot succeed. There were people who will look at you and say, you will never transform your life. But you have to know, to understand that every single day of your life, you have to nurture, protect that dream. Protect that dream. The dream that you're carrying was given to you. You know why other people can't see it for you? Because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. So you've got a duty, you've got a responsibility to make that dream grow. It's like a seed. If you're given a seed in your hand, the responsibility is yours. The responsibility is yours to make it grow. The responsibility is yours to water that seed. The responsibility is yours to ensure that you're looking after that seed. So if you've planted a seed, okay? If you planted a seed, you've got a responsibility to go out there and look after it. I like the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. Now, the Chinese bamboo tree, it's a really hard-notched tree. When you plant, it takes 5 years to grow a Chinese bamboo tree. So when you plant the Chinese bamboo tree, you have to go out there every day and water it and fertilize it. And if at any time in the process, the watering and fertilizing process is stopped, the Chinese bamboo tree would die in the ground. It dies in the ground. However, in the 5th year, if you've been watering and fertilizing the tree, in the 5th year, once it comes out of the ground, the Chinese bamboo tree grows 90 feet tall. And the question that has been asked is, does it grow 90 feet tall in 5 years or in 6 weeks? And the answer is 5 years. Because it needed to be watered and fertilized for 5 years. Your dream, it needs to be worked on. It needs to be worked on every single day. We don't get in life what we want. We get in life what we do on a consistent basis. You have to ask yourself, the results that I'm getting right now are the results of the things that I've been doing in the last 10 years, in the last 5 years. What do I need to do in the next 5 years to transform my life? As I look back at my life, as I look back at things that I've achieved, things that I've overcome, things that I've failed to overcome, sometimes I stop and marvel. Sometimes I look back and say, how did I overcome that? Because sometimes the only thing that I had left was not giving up. Sometimes I found myself in a situation where the only option that was available to me was not giving up. At the time when so many folks are giving up on life altogether, at the time when so many people look at their lives and they think that's not enough, I'm here to bring you a new message, and this is one of my messages in my next book, Finding Your Voice, which simply is you are enough, and that is enough. You are enough, and that is enough. Have faith in your ability. Have faith in your abilities. Our God did not put us on this earth so that we can amount to nothing. Our God did not put us on this earth because we are talented soul and because we are untalented souls. We're all born for a purpose. We're designed for accomplishment. We're engineered for success. We're endowed with the seed of greatness. And my dear friends, if we are going to make our country great, we have to wake up every single day saying we're here for a purpose and ask a new question. What can we do for our country? What can we do without giving up? What can we do for our country? The message that says it's not over until we win. What can I do for my family? What can I do for myself? How can I build the life that I want? That I will not focus on the circumstances, that I will not become the victim of my circumstances anymore. I will become a victor of my circumstances. I will focus on turning my life around. I will focus on looking at how wonderful my life can be. I will focus on building something special, something wonderful, something that's going to bring great fruits in the future for my life. I will not focus on where I have come from. I will focus on where I am going. I will focus on what opportunities are going to be there for me in the future. But giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option. Giving up is not in my blood. Giving up is not in my bones. Giving up is not what I was here to do. I was here, I was born to win. We can understand this, my friends. So many of us, I've never got to realize our true potential because we gave up too soon. You always have to remember this. In all that you do, it's always going to be too soon to quit. We cannot give up on our dreams. We cannot give up on the future that we want. We were born for a time like this. Somebody said something that got me thinking. The odds of you being born from the parents you were born from at the time you were born is 1/600 trillion to 1. You are never a mistake. You were created to be born for a time like this. My friends, and in summary, not giving up is the only option that you're going to have most of the time in your journey. And the people who are going to succeed in this life are the people who make up their minds not to give up on their dreams. The people who are going to succeed in this life are the people who wake up every single day and do what needs to be done, no matter how difficult it's going to be. The people who are going to be successful in this life are the people who wake up every single day and say, you know what, I cannot see how things are going to turn around, but I will go and do what needs to be done. The people who succeed in this life are the people who hear so many no's, but they keep going. The people who make it in this life are the people who know that their past does not have to become their destiny. The people who succeed in this life are the people who go through a difficult time and they pick up those ashes and they build something special. Like I did with my first book, Arise and Shine. Having failed my high school exams, that experience became the foundation on which this book was written on. It's from the ashes of defeat that grows the roses of success. It's the ability to have faith in something that is unseen. It's the ability to realize that there's something special in you. There's something wonderful in you. There's something that you were created to do. It's the ability to stop listening to what other people are saying or say you're capable of, but to get yourself in a zone that says, I can succeed and I can do wonderful things, and to begin wonderful and glorious journey. I believe you. I believe in your dream. I believe in you, and I believe you got potential, and I believe you are born for a purpose like this. I was not born extraordinary. Far from it. I was never the popular kid in school. Far from it. I was never the most sporty person in school. Far from it. I was never the most handsome person in our classes. Any of them. Far from it. The one thing that I had was a dream to turn my life around. And turn my life around I did. I looked at myself and I asked myself, what can I do to transform my life. And I embarked on that journey. That journey was difficult, that journey was hard. There was tears along the way, difficult moments. But the one thing that I knew is that as long as I kept doing what I was doing, I was going to start seeing the results that I wanted. It's a wonderful thing, my friend, to know that the ability not to give up will completely transform your life, will bring you results that you can only dream of. That is what life is. Let us use the experiences that we've gone through to build a wonderful and better future for ourselves. Let us make Zambia a country of dreamers. Let us make Zambia a country of people who never give up. Let us make Zambia a country of people who are determined to build a better tomorrow. Let us make Zambia a country of people who are always going to do wonderful things in everything that they do. Let us go up there and make our country proud. You're designed for accomplishment, you're engineered for success, and you're endowed with the seed of greatness. God bless you, God bless our country, and God bless your dream. This has been Frank Saliki with Thursday Night Motivation, saying thank you for joining me. Good night, God bless, and I will see you soon. And then direct.